I've said this 1.5 million different times. If you asked me back in Woodruff if Christy and I would be sitting here doing like a podcast, or that I would have like slept over at her house, or we would have done half the shit that we've done, it'd be like, there's no fucking way at all whatsoever. Because in high school, we were not close.
Welcome to the Conscious Journey podcast, where I invite you to have an open heart and an open mind to consciously explore your own life's journey as we dive into conversations that lead to discovery, growth, healing, and expansion. I'm your host, Christy Morrison.
Okay. And so it begins, everybody.
This is super exciting. All right, guys, I am excited for today's podcast. I have a special guest with me. And our episode today is going to be about friendship. Friendships that, come and go in our lives, and the journeys that happen. And what better way to have this conversation than with a friend that I've had in my life, I'll say, for about 25 years. And we knew each other in high school, right?
Yeah.
So Kelly is an amazing boss babe. Absolutely love the woman that she has become. She had an amazing salon business with staff and everything running, and she pivoted into becoming a transformational coach. And I absolutely think that's amazing that you've been able to do that from where we came from. We went to Woodruff High School, one of the roughest schools in the Ottawa area, I would say.
Yeah, it's been known to be a not the best school.
Not the best.
Yeah.
For sure. And we came some pretty far ways, I'll say. So first off, I think we should start from the beginning. What do you think?
Going all the way back.
25 years.
Yeah.
Can we remember that? Tell me about our friendship 25 years ago from your perspective.
Well, I've said this 1.5 million different times. If you asked me back in Woodruff if Christy and I would be sitting here doing like a podcast, or that I would have like slept over at her house, or we would have done half the shit that we've done, it'd be like, there's no fucking way at all whatsoever. Because in high school, we were not close. We had a mutual friend. There was 3 of us, and I feel like I was definitely more friends with the mutual friend. She was more friends with the mutual friend, and we're just kind of like, oh yeah, like
you exist.
That's it. Like, you exist here. Okay, cool, whatever. But we're friends. Anyway, yeah, like I said, I don't think I wouldn't have seen this kind of friendship. I wouldn't have seen how close we are and how we've kind of evolved over the years, especially the last couple of years, right? Yeah. So, yeah.
I completely
agree.
An
adventure.
It's kind of funny reflecting on those times, because that's exactly what it was. We had a mutual friend. Mm-hmm. We were, I guess, kind of fighting in a way for her attention.
I guess. I don't know. Like, I don't know if I felt like I was fighting for attention.
No, we just were subconsciously.
I guess so. We just did not get along. And
no, we were on totally different wavelengths.
The other day when I posted that thing in your what was the thing you put in your stories about like the words that come to you, or like what do you love about this person?
Yeah.
So it only lets you put like a couple of words in there. And then I wanted to go and expand on it. And so what did I say to you again? Basically that
But I wish I could pull it up.
Driven and what is it, unapologetically you. But then I also went to say something like, I think that is probably what kind of, I'll say, drove me away or intimidated me, maybe as a when we were younger, because Chrissy's always been, I'm gonna say, loud, driven, and unapologetically whoever the fuck she is. Period. That's it. She presents you with Christy. That's it. And sometimes, yeah, and sometimes, like I think as a teenager, it was just like, holy fuck, that's a lot, and I just couldn't handle it. But, you know, as you get older, you learn to appreciate the fact that people can actually do that where maybe you couldn't do it before, whatever the case may be. So that thing that maybe like kind of kept me away before is the thing that like, okay, cool. You know, like it's good that she can do this. And you just know who that person is because they're not pretending to be anything fucking else.
It's funny that you say that because along the spiritual journey, you start opening up doors and analyzing things. And one of the biggest things is those who are authentic draw people in, and if you're not drawn to them or you're irked by them, it's a trigger. And those triggers are things that people should be reflecting on and be like, why does this person set me off?
Yeah.
What is it about them? And most of the time, if it's an authentic person being triggered, it's because they're living their life unapologetically, and you're probably coming from a position where you're playing small, and whether you know it or it's subconscious, you're just like, I could be doing something more.
Yeah.
I could be stepping up in my authenticity.
Yeah. It also makes me think of, I have a friend of mine who we talk about this kind of stuff all the time, where she talks about like the mirror concept is when you have somebody who is being authentically themselves, or whatever you're experiencing in life, right? You have to turn that mirror around and be like, okay, am I doing some form of that to that person or to somebody else, right? So if that person is triggered by the fact that like if you're triggered by the fact that person's so authentic, it's like, are you being authentic in all of your interactions? And is it the fact that like you're just seeing that this person is being everything that you kind of want to be, but you're not actually doing it, right? And just calling it to your attention that maybe there's a lot of situations where you're just not being that person that you want to actually be.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
And to be honest, being authentic that early in life, it was hard.
I'm sure.
It was really hard. Like, I got picked on all the time. I got beaten up, actually, because I went to Woodruff in grade 10. So in grade 9, I went to Laurentian. And I got beaten up by this girl because I smiled too much. So at the moment, like, that's destroying me. I'm so upset. And you think that, okay, well, maybe I shouldn't be so happy. I shouldn't smile so much. I shouldn't rub it in people's faces. And thankfully, I never let that bother me.
Yeah.
I never let her beating me up for smiling too much stop me from smiling.
Yeah.
And I didn't even understand why, but now I look back and it's because she had a pretty rough life. I don't know, obviously, the ins and outs of it, but you can tell. You can tell if someone is mad at someone else for not being able to smile.
If somebody's mad at you for smiling because you're too friggin' happy, like you got some shit that you need to deal with.
Yeah,
for sure.
So if this is triggering you right now, you might want to reflect on that.
Yeah.
That's kind of what happens on these things.
Yeah.
On your journey.
Yeah.
Okay. So, since we weren't exactly friends back then, and we became friends so I feel like we've had this conversation. We're trying tracking it back, like when we started connecting again. And I think it was for myself in 2019-ish, I started to call in my soul family. That's when I discovered what soul families were. And they are people that are here to teach you a lesson and catalyze your spiritual awakening and really challenge you to show up 100% you, authentically you. And yes, I'm authentic, but there's areas in my life that I need to expand on, that I need to level up on. And these are the people that show up in your life that are going to challenge you and push those buttons and question your way of thinking and put it in a different perspective, because we're all walking this life and we have different perspectives. There's like 9 billion people on this planet, and not one of us has the exact same life or experiences. Not one. That's pretty freaking magical.
Yeah.
So I called in my soul family in COVID during the fear porn. I felt so alone. I felt completely destroyed. And I was just like, universe, send me my soul family now. I need the support. I need my friends. I need people that I can communicate with and feel connected with, because all this division is breaking me down. And that's when some amazing people started showing up in my life. Like, I've met neighbors that I've never talked to before, and now they're still really good friends, and they come over and hang out, right? It's super cool. And we weren't hanging out then, but that's from my perspective. And then from talking, you said you called in your soul family a little bit later.
Mine was in 2022, I'm going to say. I had broken up with a guy that I'd been dating for like 4 years, probably, March or something like that. He had moved out. I was talking to a friend who was very like spiritual, and we're talking about what is it? Your life path numbers and repeating numbers and all this stuff. And I was
That's another podcast.
I know. But like, I was already open to this stuff, but I felt as though it was just pretty synchronistic in that moment that here's this person that I would have never thought was into this kind of stuff, was like, oh my God, the level of depth of information that this dude had on this kind of stuff was incredible. So it just kind of like opened me up. And I remember at one point, I don't know, I must have been journaling, I was at home or whatever, and just thinking to myself, like, I'm calling it my soul family. And really, it was just something like that. Like, it was...
There's like no formal like ritual. People always think like spirituality is you have to be all this weird weird stuff. Like, yeah, we have incense burning, but that's because we enjoy it, not because it's like we have to do things in a certain ritual. I'm like, yeah, some people do, but you know, New Age spirituality is like, no.
Yeah. I think New Age spirituality is all about making rituals and doing the show, whereas I think the old school stuff is more about just being and doing and connecting. Like, it doesn't need this whole big friggin', you know, crystal show and everybody's got to be like living the life.
But they're so pretty.
You know, like, I get the aesthetics of it, but I don't really think you need all that extra shit.
No.
But yeah, like, so calling in my soul family, it was literally just a thought. I'm just like, you know what? I'm calling in my soul family. Because I think I was feeling, I'm going to say, if I'm going to, like, be honest, it's like, it was a time of feeling kind of lonely. Like, my kids live hours away. They live with their dad. My parents are off doing their own thing. They're not here for half the year. I just broken up with this guy that I'd been with for 4 years. And so I'm trying to like kind of reestablish myself. Also, my business was in a crazy friggin' spot at this time, and I just needed connection. And so it's like, okay, soul family, like, I need people around me that I can connect to on a deep level, profound
not
level.
Superficial shit.
Exactly.
Like, oh, you're having a rough time? So am I.
Yeah.
No, it's like holding space for each other.
Yeah.
Being like, oh, you're in the mud? Okay, well, let me sit in the mud with you.
Well, people who see you for you, and you don't have to be literally anything other than just whoever the F you are.
Yeah.
That's it. That's all. And so, yeah, if you want to talk about your, you know, crystals and your spiritual shit, like, cool. Yeah, I saw this number 17 different times yesterday. I'm not going to look at you like, okay, that was fucking weird. You know, like, maybe you should go see somebody, you know? So.
I love it when people start their journey and they're like, I'm seeing repeated numbers all over. I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
Let's chat.
Yeah.
Door is open.
Yeah.
Way too funny.
Yeah.
I totally lost track. What were we talking
Soul
about
families.
before? Okay. So in our soul family, do you feel that every single one of your friends that you have in your life is part of your soul family right now?
No.
Me either.
No. I think I believe that there are people who are, I don't know. I mean,
they're just called NPCs by some people.
Well, okay, I don't want to
It's called non-player characters, but we don't have to go down that road. But that's what a lot of people refer to them as.
I'm gonna say, like, I don't necessarily. There's a depth to, I think, all of this stuff that it doesn't necessarily, I'll say, resonate with me. But I do believe that there is people who are just in your life, and like they're just in your life. You know what I mean? Like, you interact with them because, yes, they're kind of the background characters that fill in the rest of the scene or whatever of your life. They're around. But I think your soul family are the people who are actual family members that you have. There's a purpose for those people being in your life, period, right? And then,
we chose them.
Right.
Good and bad, and that triggers people. I did not choose my parents because they did this. I'm actually, if you think about it,
that's the lesson you're going to learn from that.
When you learn it, then you're like, oh, that's why. Up until then, you're going to think we're assholes.
Yeah. And then also, I think it's like, so for me, my family, my children, you know, because you're learning things from these people, right? But then also it could be, yes, people that you come in contact somewhere along the lines, because how do you have a deep connection with somebody where, like, sometimes you meet people and you're just like, holy fuck, like, I'm really connected to this person. It's almost weird how connected you are to this person so fucking quickly. But there's a reason, because there is some kind of connection that you have that's like outside of, it's different from all the other connections that you have with people, right? So I think those people, there are specific people who are your soul family, and when you call them, when you're in alignment with them, they're going to enter your life and you're going to have that connection. Because every day you meet people, you go to the fucking, get on the bus. You're not gonna, those are not your soul family. They're around you. You know what I mean?
You can rest easy being like, who's in my soul family on this bus?
You will know your soul family because they will come to you and you will have a deep ass connection. That is, to me, like, not unexplainable, but it is unexplainable, right? Like, it's just
divine timing on your meeting too. Like, we were friends for so long, but we weren't truly friends. But we called in our soul families. That, I think we just started connecting over, ironically enough, like crystals and like metaphysical shots. I think something.
From my perspective, I feel like we were connecting. So Christy had like a home staging company a long time ago. And then I was doing all my barber salon stuff. And so I think I would watch her doing all of the stuff that she's doing, winning awards, traveling, teaching. Sometimes I kick myself that I literally don't have this fucking article, because the amount of times I told my clients at the shop, like, this is my friend. She had a whole...
It's right there.
Is it up there?
Yeah.
Oh shit, okay. Yeah. Like, she had in the paper, like, a whole... Were you in, like, the home section, but the cover of the home section?
The real deal.
Right, and then you open it up. And she was like, the whole page, like a whole ass article. And I read the whole thing. I was like, holy shit. Like, just seeing how well she had done in her life with doing this thing. And it's just really cool to be able to watch somebody along the way, number one, do shit, like, be driven and do shit, become entrepreneurial. I'll let me just throw this out there too. The Christy that I knew in high school liked animals and wanted to be a vet tech. So to me, I'm just like watching this person go from being a vet tech to this badass fucking entrepreneur. And like, you know that the person's doing well, but then the article tells you that they're literally like a tsunami compared to everybody else in the business. Like, I don't know.
It was my heart. You even remember that.
Listen, I remember reading this and being like, so to me, it's like, okay, so you're talking about home staging and you're thinking like, okay, maybe this person's doing like 10 or 15 or whatever houses a month. I had no idea of the numbers. The article says she was doing like 50 something houses a month while everybody else was doing like 7 on average. And I was like, holy fucking shit. Like, and to me, when you say that somebody's doing 50 something houses, I'm like, oh, okay, like maybe that's cool. And then you put it into or maybe that's average, and then you put it into contrast to what the average is, and you're like, holy shit, that's huge. And that's what this friend of mine that I've known since high school, who wanted to be a fucking vet, is doing right now. Like, how do you go from that to this, right? So it's just being able to watch somebody, and I'll say being proud of what they've been able to do. But I think the two of us have done stuff like that. We've hyped each other up, slowly but surely, little bit by little bit along the way. We kept that connection.
I do remember
it was just about that.
Yeah, now that you say that, I do remember that it was initially connected through business.
Yeah.
You reached out to me and you had questions about your business and hashing some things out and going through that. And I thought that was awesome because it takes a lot of guts to one, ask questions.
Yeah.
It takes a lot of guts to ask questions to someone who we weren't actually that tight with long ago, right? Because it's a part of vulnerability.
Yeah.
So I had mad respect for that.
Yeah.
And then I think just from that, it just kind of evolved into
slowly but surely, little bits by little bits.
Divine timing.
And then crystals. It was like, do you want to go to a crystal show?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Okay, cool. I'll meet you there. And I told you this too. It's like we walked in. So sometimes she's still overwhelming. But I'm able to
unapologetically overwhelming.
I just know that this is Chrissy. So I remember walking into the event location. It's friggin' 9:00 in the morning. Before that, the door's gonna open at 9. This girl needs to be one of the first people because we got to get the bag. And I'm like, oh, I'm so tired. Like, I don't want to be up this early. And I get there and she's like, I'm like, holy shit, it's too fucking early for this level of whatever. Anyway, so she'd been there. We're waiting in line and we're waiting to get in, but she's there with 2 other friends. And I mean, there are people that she'd been with, like she's been friends, she's been hanging out with for a long time. We have physically not seen each other in person, and I can't even friggin' tell you how long.
It was years,
like literal years, right? But anyways, we get into the room, into the venue when it finally opened up. And it's funny to me, it was so weird and funny. Like, we spent the whole time basically glued to each other, talking, walking around the whole thing. So forget the other friends that she had come there with. I think, wasn't Janik?
Janik was there.
Her sister-in-law is there. She's like, whatever. And just us talking glued to each other. And I just remember in that moment, like literally, and I go like this because that's where I felt it, was just like this kind of like, I don't know, this kind of warm, happy, kind of fulfilled, like moment, you know, just like
contentment.
Wow. Yeah, and it was really weird. Like exactly, like there was just so much, yes, ease and natural and feeling like, I'm gonna say, maybe for lack of a better word, but like a home, like you know, like this is
and that's what soul family is. It's so.
That's when I was just like, wow. Okay, so
it works,
right? Because like I don't think I've ever really, or not too often, had that feeling of that soul family piece. Like
soul family feels like home.
You don't have to like have a guard up or feel any kind of tension or anxiety. You're just warm.
Exactly.
Peace. Yeah.
So I want to circle back to identifying soul families. We said you're just going to know.
Mm-hmm.
I want to share an example. I started a networking group for my real estate business, and each week people show up and they share about their business and we get to know each other. And it's so cool because a good chunk of them actually feel like a part of my soul family. A good chunk of them don't. It's not any shade. It's just we're on different paths. They may think I'm a little crazy, but that's okay.
She is. It's fine.
I am. But this one girl showed up, and she was new to the area. I think originally from British Columbia. Shout out Christina. She showed up. I probably said 4 things to her and left, but instantly I knew, like my body. The energy between her and I, we just knew that there was something there. And I'm not a lesbian, so I knew
it's not that.
It's not that.
Yeah.
But I knew there was something there. So we met up for coffee, like I think a week later, and talked for like ever. And ever since then, we've been like fast friends. It feels comfortable. We have a lot of the same visions and goals. She loves homesteading and earthy things, and I have land, so she moved her trailer here. Like, how would that ever happen?
Mhm.
You know, like,
Mhm.
and she was looking for a place to park her trailer. I'm like, you need a place to park it. I have land. We like each other. The universe orchestrated that for both of us. And it's just been absolutely amazing ever since. So you'll know, it's an energetic knowing. You feel comfortable. You feel excited.
Yeah.
Sometimes you'll feel challenged, which is normal, right? Because we're here to grow.
Yeah.
We're not here to be the same person we were. Like, if we were the same person when we were born, we would be like, female.
Yeah. Yeah.
How weird would that be?
I'm glad we've evolved,
right?
From diaper changes.
Oh, good. Good God. Is there anything you want to add about Soul Family?
I don't know. Like, I don't know. I think that, you invite in your soul family. And like you said, I mean, they're there to challenge you and to help you grow and see things about yourself. Oh, so talking about soul family, actually, I had a girl that's kind of almost same as you. Not that like, I had just met her, but this girl that when we were in college, we became fast friends, right? And I haven't talked to her in a long time, like in a literal years. And she kept popping up in my mind, gotta contact this person. And finally did. And her and I are type, we're friends, we fall off for a little bit. Like she goes on with her life, I go on with mine, and we're friends again, and blah, blah, blah. When her and I talk, it's literal, like 4 hours on the phone because she lives in another part of the province. It's nuts. And we talk about everything. Look, everything under the sun. It's incredible. And she's probably one of the first people that I could ever talk spiritual stuff with. And she's the one who taught me the mirror concept. And like, she's deep in this stuff, and she always has been, right? And anyways, so called in Soul Family. And it was in that time that her and I also reconnected. And it's just really crazy to be like, you call this in, or you say, you tell the universe, you tell the universe like, hey, I'm ready for these connections. I'm ready for these people in my life, whatever it is, exactly, and all of a sudden there they are. And you're having, these crazy deep conversations and feeling comfortable, I'll say better about yourself in a way as well, because you're freer in that moment to be, I guess it gives you space to be freer, to be more authentically you.
Without judgment.
But it's a little expansion with every soul family member that you bring into your orbit, because it gives you a little bit more room to be more authentic. And then you add another person. Okay, I've got room to be a little bit more authentic. And then at some point you just are, because you've got so many people that allow you to be more authentic. Or you can be in that energy. It just becomes your energy, as opposed to, I can only be authentic here and I can only be authentic there.
Exactly. I completely agree. And with that also being said, it's important to note that people can feel like they're your soul family, and you can challenge them and they can challenge you. It's also entirely possible that friend is not ready for their expansion. So you even witnessed the disintegration of like a soul sister that I had.
Oh.
That was so sad to me. It broke my heart. But it happens for a reason. And I feel like I was challenging her out of her paradigm, and she was not ready for it. And essentially like killed the relationship. And I'm like, okay, that hurts. It sucks, because it is a soul connection. But it is also, I also have to respect her journey. Maybe she'll come around one day and we can reconnect. I don't know. But I don't want people to think like, just because you are a soul connection, that it's going to be 100% forever. We're all here to learn a lesson, right? And some can be forever.
So what was your lesson?
I mean,
You're like, I'm asking the questions here.
Well, see, I don't know. I'm wondering, I reflected on that, and I'm like, is the lesson for me or was the lesson for her?
It's for both of you.
Exactly. So I see,
Like, shit.
I see where I was pushing,
Uh-huh.
but what was, I think, softness.
Mhm.
Because I'm such a go-getter
Mhm.
and strong in a lot of ways,
Mhm.
I can come off as very harsh, aggressive, whatever. Harsh, aggressive, bold.
Uh-huh.
Some people see those as leadership qualities in men, but whatever.
Yeah.
We'll call it what it is.
Yeah.
But I totally probably could have delivered things in a more soft way. But, you know, it's part of my journey and I'm still learning that.
Takes practice.
It sure does.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
Okay, so I think this is absolutely amazing. I want to wrap up. And before I kick it out, I always ask 3 questions. I'm going to always ask 3 questions that are going to be from your perspective. And we can kind of see the evolution along the way. So my first question is, what is your favorite spiritual or personal growth book and why?
Oh, God.
I know, it's a hard one.
That is a hard one. Shit. I don't know. So I'm going to say on one level, I'm not a book person.
Could be a podcast, whatever. Like,
yeah, I'm just trying to think because, like, at the same time, as much as I'm not a book person, like, I have so many audiobooks that I've listened to, you know, and I have a bunch of books at home. So I don't necessarily know if I have one that is my favorite. I'm definitely on a, not even that it's not new, but I've been on a kind of self-discovery journey for a while. Actually, one that I read that I thought was really good was The Mountain Is You, and it's all about self-sabotage and the ways that you sabotage yourself. I remember actually reading the book, not listening to it, but actually reading the book, and I would read it and it would get to this point, I had a notebook going and I would just start crying because I'm just like, oh my God, and it brings you back to like all the shit, you know, from your childhood.
Being triggered.
Exactly.
Going
You're
for
like,
the emotions.
oh, yeah.
Acknowledging where it comes from.
Yeah. So, yeah, I feel like off the top of my head, that's probably a really good one. It just kind of opens you up to you. I read a book. It's more of a workbook, and I just ordered it so that I could actually, I listened to a book. I ordered it so I can work my way through it, but it's like How to Meet Yourself by Dr. Laura, it's Pena or something, LaPera, Dr. Laura LaPera, LEPERA. And that's a really good book. So, yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Question 2. What does the conscious journey mean to you?
Oh, Jesus. I don't know. I think for me right now, the conscious journey has just been about opening myself up and being more aware of, I'll say, myself and other people in general. And just the world around me. Just being open more.
Nice.
Period. Yeah.
Love it.
Yeah.
And the last question is, from your journey, what is one invaluable lesson that you've learned?
Oh, Jesus.
Just one.
I don't know. So from my journey, what is one invaluable lesson that I've learned? You can't be everything to everyone.
Oh, okay. That's a mic drop. That's like 100% accurate.
You can't be everything to everyone.
People pleasers.
Well,
I hurt the most.
Oh my God. I guess just to put it in context, like with the pivot from the old business to, you know, my coaching, I had a whole point in time where I was just really trying to be this like great entrepreneur, trying to give, you know, the 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 people I had on my staff, everything that they wanted, and trying to, be this like successful, really good leader, blah, 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 and bending over backwards, and just like, it felt like it was never enough. And so I just decided, like, you know what? I'm done with this shit, because I can't be, here I am teaching my staff that you cannot be, you're not going to please every client that sits in your chair.
Yeah.
Not everybody is meant for you, whatever the case may be. As long as you tried your best, it's literally all that matters, right? Like, you literally can't please everybody. But then it's like reminding myself that, like, oh, I guess, well, you can't please everybody. You can just do your best and try your best and be the people who are meant for you,
Yeah.
I guess, are going to be the ones that come to you and stick. So
I love that.
Yeah.
It's so much easier to see other people's lessons that they need to learn. But for ourselves, we're like, oh, I keep telling people this, but that's the mirror aspect, right? If you keep saying it, it's because it applies to you as well.
And even just now asking these questions, like, I can't remember what we were talking about at the point, but I'm just like, oh, that's a lesson. Like, you're saying the shit, but like,
you can watch it again. It'll come back.
You know? Yeah. So.
Oh, I love it. Yeah. Okay, amazing. Thank you so much, Kelly, for being with me today.
You're welcome.
Today we were a little casual. We're kind of hanging out in our comfy wear.
Yeah.
It's New Year's Day.
Yeah.
You slept over.
Yeah.
We had some fun last night.
Yeah.
So I figured why not kick it off. Let's keep rolling.
Cool.
So thank you everyone for tuning in, checking us out. I hope you enjoyed our conversation. I hope you are inspired. I hope you reflect. I hope you have the courage to call in your soul family. If you haven't, it's so exciting when you meet people and you start resonating on this level that is
profound.
It is profound. Yeah. It's unreal. And
I feel like it sounds cheesy to say profound until you like experience it. You're like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
This is some deep shit.
Yeah. I remember before I was really deep into this, I was like, whatever, soul families, it's just a friend. Mm-hmm. But I'm like, no, it's like
there's different levels.
When you feel like you're at home just in their presence and you feel good, mm-hmm. It feels so amazing to have that person in your life. Yeah. So I hope you call them in. I hope you will continue to join us on our journey with the Conscious Journey podcast. Like, subscribe, share with your friends. That's how we grow and expand. And please comment in the comment section. Have you called in your soul family? Give a shout out to your bestie. Like, tell us. We want to hear from you. And, you know, you never know. We might feature one of your cool little stories on a future episode. So thanks for tuning in. And until then, keep on your journey, guys.
Bye. Bye.